All right, this is working. Check it one, check it two, check three. Okay, we got we have this going. Put this up a little bit. It popped out. I don't know why. Keeps popping up. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Check one, two, check three. I don't know if I need the pop filter. I don't pop. Anyway, Pierre is back. He did a outstanding speech today. It was pretty. I think it was pretty damn good. It's all about food availability, and well, I don't know what's going on with Facebook or the YouTube. It has a very large, wide side screen. Maybe it's my zooming in. No, the format's changed on it. Not liking it as much. So he did a Q&A on the food availability. Now here, what's this food availability plan that the Conservatives have? Here, I'll read the gist. It was done by Luc Berthold, basically their French commander, I call him. That given, so this is probably written in French and been translated, so if there's a little bit off wording, that's probably the case, you know what I mean? Because it's not a perfect translation to do translations, right? Excuse me. That given, okay, food availability. That given that the finance minister promised on October 2023 that food prices would stabilize soon, that the Prime Minister stated in May 2025 that he would be judged by the prices at the grocery store, and that Canadians face the highest food inflation in the G7, food inflation is twice as high as it was when the Prime Minister took office. 3, food inflation in Canada is twice as high as it is in the United States. 4, Canadians made 2.2 million visits a month to food banks. Wow. 5. Food bank use has more than doubled since the Liberals took power. The House call on the government to immediately introduce food affordability plan that A. removes the Liberals' hidden taxes on food, including 1. the industrial carbon tax on farm equipment, fertilizer, and food processors that drives up the costs of producing food that are passed on to consumers. 2. The Fuel Standards Act, which is 7 cents a liter and rising to 17 cents a liter on farmers, truckers, and those who bring us our food. Yeah, that's they're right. They really are right. They shouldn't be. Like, I understand if you're going to do this if there's, like, alternatives. But when there's no alternative, you're, like, taxing someone for breathing. You know, you're going to pay. Why? Because, we there's a harm in your exhaust. Like, how am I going to repeat that again? The fuel standards tax, which is 7 cents a liter and rising to 17 cents a liter on farmers, truckers, and those who bring us our food. Okay, 3. The food packaging tax that will cost $1.3 billion and B, boost competition in our overly concentrated grocery sector. They're saying that they need more grocery stores. Okay. I personally think that they're hitting what people see when there's other problem. There's a monopoly on food in Canada. There's basically, if you open a business in Canada, you get a monopoly. It's basically the fact. Check. You get me? You hearing? Ron Barnhill, 8579. Is that your year of birth? 79? Basically the fact. Check. Yeah, check it. You're here. You're here. You're not. I don't have anyone. Things have changed, so you're allowed to comment. And I do ask you to be polite to the people in the chat. It's not a rule. It's a request. But it's not like, you know what I mean. The channel, once I got canceled, it's been canceled for 2 years. So once you get canceled for whatever reason, I don't even know why it was canceled. They said it wasn't enough me. I don't know. Other channels are the same, but you get like shoved way. You don't see it, right? And I'm the same. I go to my feed. I get upset from my feed at times, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like looking at videos, it's just the same thing over and over. And sometimes I get frustrated. I watch way too much YouTube, admittedly so. Here, hang on. So, you know, I get frustrated on things that normally people wouldn't. So that's the food availability plan. There's Kevin over there. He's a liberal. He talks basically every day, yells. As you can see, here, I'll put him on for a second. And he's yelling. Oh, of course he stopped yelling.
Mr. Speaker, I had hoped that my speech would help Canadians better understand how these hidden taxes are driving up prices.
Yeah, 17 cents, or 7 cents is even really high. But 17, going up to 17 cents, like I said, if there's an alternative, I understand, you know, a little bit. You call it, yeah, you probably, you know, the one thing that happens a lot of people don't understand is you get flagged at other channels, and you actually, as a you know, channel owner or whatever, you have to actively go in and try to dig these people out. And they get, if a channel, I think, I'm not sure on this, but I'm 90% sure, if a channel gets flagged on another channel, you can get on this channel, you know, on other channels. It's getting better. That used to be the case, but I believe that AI is upping the game, because, you know, we all know, we just heard the artist the other day. It was like Bad Bunnies, and it's like, you're not even speaking clearly. You're obviously addled on God knows what Adderall, and you're trying to explain something. No, thank you. You know, I understand why they're doing it a little bit, but A.K. Mr. Cheap. Hey, me? Oh, Ruth. Yeah, he does, yeah. Chris Ruth, sorry. Ruth. There's this, every time I see your name, I think of Ruta. Ruta is the best. In 6 minutes, we're going to go. And here, this is, I'm bouncing all over the place. This is Tamara. She lost. She was in. And I don't know, maybe she lost. I may have missed it, but she didn't come into Parliament, and then now she's back. I loved her on committee. She did a couple times on committee that her exasperation was funny. I found her very highly amusing on in committee. And see, there's some MPs that are good on committee. There's some MPs that are good on policy, and then there's some MPs that are good at just like the media part. Or you know what I mean, and and then there's the nasties, and then, you know, there's also the other parts of it when they go on tour and all that stuff. She's one of the better ones, I think. Speaker on she's quick-witted with the attacks, where you need someone on committee. You need a person, if you have an important committee, I think you need the quick-witted one to get them all frustrated, but you also need the policy wonk in the committee meetings, because they have a few, depending on how many they have. Okay, what do we got here? It's all a theater. Well, app 3297 says, this is all theater. Nothing of consequence happens in this country anymore. What it is yes and no. I agree and I disagree. I don't know nothing. I'm not the, you know, I'm just the guy who's got the mic. So I wish I could give you the guys the mic, but you got to speak. So question period is a bit of theater, and it's about highlighting scandals and whatever the hell they can get them on. So it's a lot of theater, because there's not a lot of scandals. It's Canada. There's not a lot of scandals that really, like the big ones, will never come out. They'll never come out. Not me. They'll never come out of like the big stuff, you know, huge things. That'll be dealt with, whatever. But small scandals that we all hear about, that's where this is put in, and it's a question period. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the big scandals will come here. Yeah, I am wrong. Because they have, right? Remember the phone call with Jody Wilson-Raybould, who we're all praying for? She has cancer, and she'll win. She'll beat it. She's one of those. She's scary tough, you know. So she's got it. But this is where it's about a bit of theater, but they're also highlighting real things. So, you know, Committees, they're doing the policy stuff and they're changing. They're listening to experts. You know what I mean? Highly knowledgeable people or not. And there's a lot of that going on. So that's in committee. A lot of good stuff happens, and you won't see other pundits even talk about committee because it's policy wonk and it gets people disinterested. So for yourself, app 3297, I recommend you look at what's happening in the committees and you'll feel better about the country because they're actually doing work. They're not just pretending that they're awesome, right? And, Mark Carney is a little. Chris Ruth 7057 says Mark Carney is a little better than Justin Trudeau. I think he's a lot better. I think Justin Trudeau was hired by the people to be nicer. We were tired of the angry media, angry against media, tired of the Harper. We were just tired of Harper's ways, how he's a bit angry with the media and it's tough. We wanted a nicer, kinder government. And he came in saying, I will be nicer, kinder. And really why he got in, I think, was the biggest one he got with the youth. He said he was going to make cannabis legal. So he did that. He made cannabis legal. The Conservatives had a plan that would happen. Oh, yeah, after a while, because Harper was a very savvy. Like I asked, I request, but, request. He was a savvy operator. And so as soon as he realized which way the wind was blowing on the cannabis, he was like, yeah, we're going. The Liberals had a plan that was like take a year and a half because they were going to get the legislation right. The NDP had a plan. They're like, we're going to legalize it tomorrow, right? And then we'll work it out, which I kind of would have liked that plan under Mulcair. But the Liberals won, and they did it. And then the Harper had a plan that was like, yeah, well, we'll drag it through the mud for 10 years, and eventually it'll go legal, right? If you guys keep complaining about it. That's what I seen it as. And no one heard those other two plans. The NDP, Tom Mulcair, no one heard that. Everyone I talked to, we were like, cannabis is legal if we get Justin Trudeau in. And so that's how... I just ask you to be polite to the guys. It's okay to pick on the politicians. Like, that's their job. But, we're all Canadians and we all have an opinion. But it does help the views. When there's fights in there, it helps the algorithm, which I disagree with completely. But I have no power. PP is exactly like NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman when it comes to huge business. Yeah, he is about business. Chris, okay, I'll always be an NDP Green supporter. Oh, that's why he doesn't like it. You can't say that without getting an attack. NDP, I like the NDP. I like the Greens as well. I also, the problem is their policies have like been basically. You're a military hunter kind of. I don't hunt, but you're a military fisherman, outdoorsy kind of whatever wonk or idiot. I like it all. I'm a multi-person person. I love cities and stuff. But you're that kind of person. We don't want you in, right? That's what I feel. I may be wrong, but when I went to the Green, I had Annemie Paul. I did an interview, and there was like. I just felt it was. I may be wrong, but it didn't feel like they wanted me in their party. The NDP definitely didn't. I said I was going to go help, and I had a few people to help with me. And I heard this woman in the background who was the campaign manager. I found out later. She's like, "Oh, we know who he is." I have that was when I was still rising before I got smashed down, and before the comeback hit. And she's in the background. Yeah, well, maybe this is during the pandemic. She's like, maybe he can go hand out flyers to people. And I'm like, I was just gonna give him slogans and stuff like that. But I heard that, and the guy on the phone, he knew I heard, right? Because she said it so loud. I'm pretty sure he knew because he was like being very, very nice about it. He's like, I'm sorry, but you know what I mean. I says, I don't want to be out in the open. I said I want to help you guys privately. Because this is my area. I don't want to, I don't want to do it on my channel. I'm not, I want to help you. Oh, no, he can go hand out flyers in the pandemic. Like, what? First of all, that's silly, I think that was Hunter Bissonnette, don't feel attacked at the ATM. At the ATM, you should never feel attacked. You're okay, Hunter Bissonnette. Everything is good. Oh, I'm talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, and here we go. Let them talking and talking and talking. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and please have a good day. Oh, 7-Eleven. We got no time. I'm going.
I was saying, I guess we're close enough to 2 o'clock that we can start with statements, and the honourable member will have about 4 minutes and 53 seconds after question period. Pardon me? After the question period, yes. Part 2, yes. Statements by members, déclaration de député. The honourable member for Courtenay Alberni.
Mr. Speaker, I ask all members to join me today in expressing solidarity with the Nuu-Chulnut people of Sishat First Nation after 2 incidents of racist vandalism at the Every Child Matters Orange Bridge in Port Alberni in just 1 week. Swastikas and hateful slurs deface this important site of remembrance. This was not random vandalism. It was an attack on survivors, on Indigenous families, on Jewish communities, and on the truth of what happened at the Alberni Indian Residential School. For generations, Indigenous children were taken across this bridge from their families. Painting it orange was an act of remembrance, education, and reconciliation. Hate will not erase the truth.
That's right.
I thank the many volunteers who repainted the bridge and showed our communities resolve. We must condemn racism wherever it rears its ugly head in Canada, support education and the hard work of reconciliation, and stand with survivors today and always.
It's probably some kids, and it's getting national news, you know. It's horrible.
Honourable member for Sydney Glace Bay.
Mr. Speaker, last month, Cape Breton proudly hosted the Under-18 Women's World Hockey Championships, bringing the world to our rinks and showcasing the very best of women's hockey. The tournament coincided with the grand opening of the Kiel Forum at Cape Breton University. It's a new state-of-the-art facility and the first of its kind in Canada, Mr. Speaker, dedicated exclusively to women's hockey and serving as a lasting home for women's hockey in the region. Events like this, Mr. Speaker, do not happen by accident. They are built on years of grassroots leadership, including the work of the Cape Breton Blizzards, along with dedicated volunteers and coaches and families and community partners who continue to grow girls' hockey and create opportunities for young athletes. Through world-class competition and community pride, Cape Breton showed once again that when we invest in women's sport, we build stronger communities and a stronger future.
The honourable member for Nanaimo Ladysmith.
Today is February 3rd, the first day that 250 forestry workers at the Crofton Mill are out of work. Almost all of them are still without jobs, and another 125 workers will be following them to the unemployment line in the coming weeks. Since this Prime Minister took office, Vancouver Island has seen a steady drumbeat of mill curtailments and closures. Shifts are being cut, mills are being idled, and families are turning to food banks in record numbers. When a mill shuts down, the whole community pays the price. Crofton workers met with Liberal ministers in good faith and put forward practical, targeted proposals. They were promised employment insurance support and transition funding. Ministers looked my communities in the eye and made those commitments. While it's February 3rd, the Crofton workers and others on curtailment in my community are out in the cold and still waiting. I'm asking for an urgent meeting with the minister to discuss the reasonable requests Crofton workers have made. Our communities deserve more than words and someday promises. They deserve.
The honourable member for Brampton South.
Mr. Speaker, families in Brampton work hard and they deserve support that work for them. That is why our government is increasing the GST credit by 25% for 5 years. That means a family of 4 in Brampton could receive up to $1,900. It will help more than 12 million Canadians across the country, Mr. Speaker. These measures are paired with $500 million to protect supply chains, support farmers, and help to keep prices down at the checkout. These bills on the progress already made, including a middle-class tax cut for 22 million Canadians, Mr. Speaker, $10 day childcare, dental coverage for 6 million Canadians, expanded student loan forgiveness, and school meals for 400,000 children each year. These measures are about making everyday life more affordable and supporting families in Brampton and across Canada, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Ponoka Didsbury.
Speaker, I'm very pleased to rise today and recognize the Fur Institute's Day on the Hill. The Fur Institute was created in 1983 by Canada's wildlife ministers and serves as Canada's national voice for the fur trade. The Fur Institute is internationally renowned for their expertise in humane trapping and is home to the Seals and Sealing Network, which promotes Canadian seal products at home and abroad. Representing a broad cross-section of the fur trade, from trapping to runway, farm gates to showrooms, this organization represents the interests of over 35,000 Canadian trappers, fur farmers, seal harvesters, artisans, furriers, as well as governments and Indigenous nations, all involved in the fur trade. Mr. Speaker, trapping is an essential part.
The Expo Cité Exhibition Centre in my riding of Beauport-Limoilou for the construction and housing sector. Every year, it brings together contractors, experts, and professionals from all regions of Quebec. Given the housing challenges across Canada, events like Expo Habitat, Expo Habitat are more important than ever. Expo Habitat contributes directly to improving the situation by putting forward concrete solutions to build better and faster. This is an important forum for exchange where attendees share ideas, innovative practices, and sustainable solutions to address housing challenges. I would like to acknowledge the work of all organizers, exhibitors, and all partners who, year after year, ensure the success and relevance of this event. Thank you.
Calgary Midnapore.
20 years ago, the Right Honourable Stephen Harper was elected as Canada's 22nd Prime Minister. This week, as his official portrait is unveiled and as Conservatives gather to celebrate the many achievements of his government, I'm proud to rise and remember the legacy he left. One of fiscal know-how, strength, and unity. Prime Minister Harper successfully led our country through the 2008 economic crisis, resulting in the best recovery in the G7 while cutting taxes and saving real money for Canadians. On the global stage, he held firm to his principles, supporting our allies and having the courage to stand up to those who did not allow for freedom or democracy. It was his leadership that united our Conservative movement and opened the door to millions of Canadians supporting our party. The Right Honourable indeed. Thank you, Prime Minister, for your public service and your dedication to Canada.
The Honourable Member for Ottawa Vanier Gloucester.
It's an honor to rise today to recognize the important work that Canadian civil society organizations are doing around the world in these difficult times.
Hear, hear.
During this International Development Week, I want to recognize the critical contributions of hundreds of workers from these organizations across Canada, and especially those from Ottawa Vanier Gloucester. L'Inde Internationale.
Canadian international assistance has long been a source of hope around the world. Our assistance builds clean water and sanitation facilities. Our assistance trains healthcare professionals to reduce infant mortality. Our assistance also guarantees that children, and especially girls, have universal access to basic education.
World, more important than ever, our government is committed to working with our civil society partners to build a strong and prosperous Canada. We know that when we work together, Canadians will deliver for the world.
Hear, hear.
By investing in overseas development assistance, our government is implementing a pragmatic approach.
The Honourable Member for Kamloops, Thompson-Nicola.
Mr. Speaker, with profound sadness, I offer my sincere condolences on the passing of 3 junior hockey players from the Southern Alberta Mustangs. To the families, teammates, and coaches in Stavely, Alberta, who cared for Caden Fine of Alabama, and Kamloops' own J.J. Wright and Cameron Casorso, you are in our thoughts as you grieve this heartbreaking loss. Kamloops minor hockey had the honor of watching J.J. and Cameron grow up playing in the organization for 14 and 13 years, respectively. Many in the Kamloops community knew these players as teammates and friends. The pain of this tragedy will be felt for a long time, and the memory of these young lives will remain with us always. Gone from our sight, but never from our hearts. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Repentigny. Mr. Speaker, today I would like to highlight the phenomenal rise of a Repentigny resident who is redefining the limits of what we believe is possible, Thomas Fafard. Thomas has proven to us that even the most stubborn records are not barriers but invitations to excel and beat them. On January 14th, Mr. Speaker, during his very first marathon, he broke Alain Bordelot's 40-year-old record. He has set a Quebec record. He did more than just set a new time, though. He made history, too. But that's just one chapter in his epic journey, Mr. Speaker. He's already Quebec's record holder for the half marathon. He has shown us that his thirst for victory is insatiable. And he won't be stopping here. His goal is clear. He will run the Los Angeles Marathon in 2028 and then go to the Olympics. He has already beaten records.
Yeah, that was me. I asked about
is an excellent ambassador for our riding. We're very proud that he is from Repentigny, and all Quebec stands behind him.
Capilano.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today in solidarity with my constituents of North Vancouver Capilano, home to a strong and vibrant Iranian-Canadian community, to unequivocally condemn the Iranian regime's unjustifiable killing of thousands of peaceful civilian protesters. The Iranian regime must halt its horrific repression and intimidation, and I call on the regime to respect the rights of its citizens. I want to recognize the extraordinary courage of Iranian people, both in Iran and here in Canada, who continue to stand up for the fundamental rights and freedoms despite the regime's ongoing brutality. Canada has been firm and steadfast in its support for the Iranian people and in its opposition to the actions being taken by the regime. To the people of Iran and to Iranian Canadians, thank you for your bravery. I am inspired by your strength and your fight to shape a peaceful and democratic future for Iran. Canadians stand with you at this enormously difficult time.
The Honourable Member for Haliburton, Kawartha Lakes.
3 years ago, the Finance Minister promised Canadians he would stabilize food prices. Since then, lettuce is up nearly 40%, coffee 33%, beef 27%, baby formula 13%, and canned vegetables are up almost 12%. Canada is leading the G7 in food inflation. It is now twice as high as when the Prime Minister took office and twice as high as it is in the United States. Canadians are making 2.2 million visits a month to food banks, which has doubled under this Liberal government. In my area, the local health unit has identified food insecurity as an urgent issue, as the typical family spends over $1,200 each month on healthy food alone, and many are forced to juggle between rent and buying groceries. Instead of working to reduce the cost of food, the minister is announcing yet another temporary rebate, giving some about $10 a week. The government needs to support a conservative affordability plan, one that eliminates taxes and encourages competition.
The Honourable Member for Vancouver Quadra.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today with a heavy heart, but in celebration of one of my matriarchs. Barbara Mary Charles passed away at the age of 96 last year, better known to thousands.
So just pause it for a second. His voice. These four people, three guys and one woman. I don't know if they're from Canada or not, but they're, they all went to Western University.
Proved our rights to fish for food, social, and ceremonial purposes. After her time as a councillor, she began as a cultural ambassador for Musqueam, welcoming dignitaries, royalty, celebrities, and even politicians. In fact, the Minister of Housing and Infrastructure once called her his rock. So as we move forward, I want to raise my hands to my aunt and end this speech with the way she would end it for everybody in this house by saying, may your days be filled with joy, may your successes be frequent, may you find peace and comfort, and may your hearts always know how special you all are. Haitzav Kasiyam Messiah.
honourable member for Caribou Prince George.
Mr. Speaker, Conservatives are united for hope. After 10 years of Liberal failure, Canadians are struggling just to get by. Groceries cost more, housing's out of reach, energy bills are up, and crime is out of control. The Canadian promise that if you work hard, play by the rules, you can get ahead has been broken. Conservatives are united to restore that promise. While the Liberals offer slogans and photo ops, Canadians are demanding real results. But the Prime Minister's rhetoric doesn't match reality. Food inflation is higher than ever. Housing is out of reach. Dozens of mills have closed across British Columbia, and no new resource projects have been approved or built. Conservatives are focused on delivering real solutions. We will lower taxes, fight inflation, cut red tape, build more homes, and produce more Canadian energy so we can stand on our own 2 feet. We are united for hope. We are focused on results, and we are ready to make life more affordable for the millions of Canadians who work hard and deserve better than this guy's promising.
Not referring to this guy, I hope. Not referring to this guy. Oh, we should go through the chair. L'honorable député de Terrebonne.
The honourable member for Terrebonne. Mr. Speaker, Black History Month is celebrating its 30th anniversary in Canada. 30 years to honour stories which for too long were ignored. Let's honour the excellence of Black people across generations, from the country's builders to its visionaries. We pay tribute to those who worked to build Canada, workers who built solid communities, those who fought for justice, artists, educators, innovators, and entrepreneurs who paved the way. I'd also like to pay tribute to the members of Nova Scotia's Black community whose courage paved the way for freedom, respect, and dignity in Canada. I pay tribute to those who left Haiti in the 70s, who left to care for, train, and teach generations of Quebecers and Canadians. They really paved the way, Mr. Speaker. This Black History Month, let's honour these builders and visionaries whose legacy I am proud to carry on today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Battle River Crowfoot.
Today we unveil the portrait of the great Right Honourable Prime Minister Stephen Harper. Mr. Speaker, he reminds us of better days. This Prime Minister led Canada's economy through the great global recession with the smallest deficit, the shortest recession, the fastest recovery, and the best balance sheet. He would then go on to successfully lead us through 2 wars, one in Afghanistan against the Taliban and then against ISIS. He also passed laws that kept our streets safe and expanded opportunity for Canadians. The cost of a home was an almost laughable $450,000, and rent was only $900. We look back on his many successes, not just in nostalgia, but with hope, because it's been done before, it can be done again.
The honourable member for Vancouver Granville.
Pierre has never, since he was leader, done statements by members, and that was a pretty good one, because Harper was.
Around the world will celebrate Imamate Day, marking 1 year since His Highness Prince Rahim Aga Khan became the 50th hereditary Imam of the Ismaili Muslims. In that time, Maulana Hazar Imam has worked tirelessly to build bridges between nations, to advance the fight against climate change, to support community resilience, and to improve the quality of life of those living in the most difficult of circumstances. For Ismailis, he has reminded us of the importance of being active, engaged, ethical citizens, and that living our values of kindness, compassion, and service to all is an act of faith. For us all, Hazar Imam has shown us the importance of faith, of maintaining balance in our lives, of taking the time to care for family and community, and above all, of living our physical lives with purpose and intention. These values reflect the best of what unites us as Canadians. I invite all members of this House to join me in wishing His Highness and Ismailis across Canada, Krishali Mubarak.
Oral questions, questions orales, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians deserve hope. The hope of a full fridge as well as a full bank account. The Prime Minister told us that he would be judged on the basis of the cost of groceries. Since then, costs have increased higher here than in any other country of the G7. My theory is that the taxes on farm equipment, fertilizers, and the entire supply chain that are responsible for this. That's my theory. That's why we have the highest food inflation in the G7. What is his theory? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition's theory is false. It is false. The industrial carbon tax does not have an effect on groceries, according to the Canadian Climate Institute. Their assessment is that it stands at zero. There is no tax on packaging in there. It's the impact of the Canadian currency and American tariffs.
Opposition.
Ça marche pas.
That doesn't add up because all other countries in the G7 pay tariffs too. All the other G7 countries also face climate change effects, but they have less food inflation. Their consumers are not seeing these hikes that we are seeing here. We have the worst food inflation